As court proceedings unfolded, various legal documents were unsealed. These included flight logs, contact records, and witness statements. Some high-profile names appeared within these documents. It is crucial to emphasize that the presence of a name in a document does not equate to criminal guilt. Allegations, associations, and legal convictions are very different matters. Several individuals publicly denied any wrongdoing. Because the primary defendant died before trial, many legal questions were never fully resolved in court. Politically, the case sparked intense debate. There were public calls for full transparency and the release of all related documents. Some records were made public, while others were partially redacted. The issue became a point of discussion across political lines, with supporters and critics alike demanding clarity. Even today, many people continue to ask whether the full truth has been revealed or whether important details remain undisclosed. Looking at the broader picture, this case is not only about one individual. It raises deeper questions about power, accountability, and justice. When extreme wealth and influence intersect with the legal system, public trust can be shaken. The role of media, investigative journalism, and institutional transparency becomes critically important. This story also highlights the difference between verified information and viral speculation. In an era of social media, narratives can spread faster than facts. Responsible discussion requires careful attention to evidence, official findings, and the distinction between allegations and proven crimes. Today, Jeffrey Epstein's name remains one of the most controversial in recent history. Some believe justice was incomplete. Others argue that the legal system functioned as it could under the circumstances. And many believe unanswered questions still linger. Perhaps the biggest question this case leaves behind is this: when immense power and influence are involved, can accountability ever be truly complete? Or does the truth eventually surface no matter how long it takes? In 2005, a complaint filed in Florida changed everything. A minor reported to authorities that she had been recruited to provide a massage at the home of a wealthy man. According to her statement, the situation escalated into inappropriate behavior. When police began investigating, they discovered that this might not have been an isolated case. As detectives interviewed more individuals, additional names surfaced. What initially appeared to be a single allegation gradually expanded into a much larger investigation involving multiple underage accusers. By 2008, the case had grown significantly. However, instead of proceeding to a full federal trial, a plea agreement was reached. Epstein pleaded guilty to limited state charges related to solicitation and received a relatively short jail sentence. The agreement later faced heavy public criticism, as many believed the punishment did not reflect the seriousness of the allegations. Reports also indicated that his jail conditions were unusually lenient compared to standard incarceration practices. This fueled public suspicion about whether wealth and influence played a role in the outcome. While no definitive proof of political interference was officially established, questions remained in the public mind. For several years, the case faded somewhat from the national spotlight. Then investigative journalists revisited the story. Detailed reporting brought renewed attention to how the original case had been handled. Victims spoke publicly about their experiences. Public pressure began to build once again. In 2019, Jeffrey Epstein was arrested again, this time on federal charges related to sex trafficking. The case immediately returned to international headlines. However, before the trial could take place, Epstein was found dead in his jail cell in August 2019. Authorities ruled his death a suicide. Due to the high-profile nature of the case and reported failures in jail monitoring procedures, numerous conspiracy theories quickly spread online. Multiple official investigations later stated that there was no confirmed evidence of foul play. Nevertheless, public skepticism has persisted. In the middle of the ocean lies a small private island. White sand beaches, crystal clear blue water, luxury villas, a private helipad. From a distance, it looks like a paradise, the kind of place reserved for billionaires and celebrities. But years later, this same island would become associated with one of the most controversial scandals in modern history. In the late 1990s, a private island in the Caribbean, known as Little St. James, was purchased by a wealthy American financier named Jeffrey Epstein. At the time, it seemed like just another high-end property owned by an ultra-rich businessman. But over the years, the island's name began appearing in investigations, court documents, and media reports tied to serious criminal allegations. Jeffrey Epstein did not begin his life as a powerful financier. Early in his career, he worked as a mathematics teacher. Eventually, he transitioned into finance, where he built relationships with extremely wealthy and influential individuals. Over time, he became known for maintaining connections with politicians, business leaders, academics, and celebrities. However, it's important to understand that being socially connected to someone does not automatically imply involvement in wrongdoing. Legal guilt requires evidence and conviction in court.